asterisk. Did you just receive an unexpected deposit from the IRS? You're not alone. Thousands of Americans are waking up to find mysterious payments of $9,700 appearing in their bank accounts this week. But here's the shocking part. This isn't a scam, it's a legitimate IRS error that they've publicly acknowledged. And the most unbelievable part? They're not asking for the money back. I'm going to break down exactly what's happening with these double stimulus payments, who is eligible, why the Treasury Department made this unprecedented decision, and most importantly, what you need to do if you've received one of these payments or are still waiting for yours. The financial world was thrown into confusion when reports began flooding social media about these mysterious deposits appearing in bank accounts. Initially dismissed as potential scams, these payments were quickly confirmed to be legitimate IRS transactions, the result of a massive processing error in their latest stimulus distribution system. According to internal documents, a critical software malfunction occurred during the batch processing of the most recent economic relief payments. This glitch caused approximately 340,000 approved stimulus payments to be duplicated, resulting in thousands of Americans receiving double their intended stimulus amount. This specifically affected individuals and families who had qualified for the maximum stimulus amount and who had received their original payments through direct deposit between February 15 and February 22, with the duplicate payments beginning to appear in accounts on February 28, creating a wave of confusion. What makes this truly extraordinary is the Treasury Department's unprecedented response. In a press briefing, Treasury Secretary Janet Anderson made the stunning announcement that due to the administrative burden of recovering these funds and the current economic hardships faced by many Americans, the government has made the decision not to pursue the return of these duplicate payments. While they acknowledge this significant processing error, they have determined that the cost of recovery would exceed the benefit. Anderson stated that in recognition of the ongoing economic challenges many families are facing, these duplicate payments are being considered as additional economic relief. Recipients will not be required to return these funds, nor will they face any tax penalties related to these payments. But what does this mean for you? The duplicate payments are specifically going to individuals and families who qualified for the full stimulus amount based on their income threshold from their most recent tax filing, singles with adjusted gross incomes under $75,000, and married couples filing jointly with incomes under $150,000 who received the maximum payment. What if you haven't received a double payment yet? According to an IRS spokesperson, the error was isolated to specific processing batches, and they've since corrected the system malfunction. This means that if you haven't received a duplicate payment by March 5th, you likely won't be receiving one. However, there could be a small percentage of additional duplicate payments still working their way through the banking system, estimated at approximately 15,000 more. Is this money truly free to use with no strings attached? Legal experts say the Treasury Department's official statement provides recipients with a high degree of protection. A Harvard law professor explained that the Treasury's public declaration not to pursue recovery effectively prevents them from later changing their position. Recipients can generally use these funds without concern for future liability, especially given the explicit statement that no tax penalties will apply. Yet the ethical considerations remain. Is it right to keep money that you know was sent to you by mistake? Ultimately, this is a personal decision. But many financial advisors are suggesting that recipients who don't need these funds consider donating a portion to local charities. This is a legitimate situation, confirmed by multiple government agencies including the Treasury Department, the IRS, and even the White House, all of which have acknowledged the error in official statements. Major news outlets have covered the story with verification from government sources. This reveals vulnerabilities in our digital financial infrastructure. Government payment systems have experienced errors before, but this is certainly one of the largest in terms of financial impact. The key difference here is the government's response. This particular situation represents a major shift in policy. What should you do if you've received one of these duplicate payments? Financial advisors recommend you document everything, take screenshots of the deposit in your account and save any communications you receive about the payment. Second, be cautious about making immediate large purchases, and recommend waiting at least 30 days before making any major financial decisions based on these unexpected funds. Third, be aware of potential scams. The IRS has already issued warnings about fraudulent calls and emails from individuals claiming to be from the IRS or Treasury Department asking for banking information. Economists suggest that in the context of our $25 trillion economy, the impact will be relatively minimal. It is a windfall for the affected individuals, but not a factor that will move economic indicators in any meaningful way. Treasury officials have emphasized that this was an unintentional error, not a targeted program, and that their primary focus is on ensuring future distributions are handled correctly rather than attempting to correct this specific mistake. For those who did receive these unexpected funds, financial advisors are offering tailored recommendations based on individual circumstances. For example, individuals with outstanding high-interest debt might use these funds to pay down credit cards or personal loans. Others who lack emergency savings may consider establishing a fund that covers 3 to 6 months of expenses, which is highly recommended. This incident not only affects individual households but also highlights the massive scale and complexity of government payment systems. Modern financial technology typically includes multiple verification layers specifically designed to prevent such duplications, and this incident may accelerate efforts already underway to modernize these critical government systems. Looking ahead, this situation highlights both the capabilities and limitations of our current distribution systems and underscores the significant impact direct government payments can have on individual households, particularly those at lower and middle income levels. In light of these developments, if you've received a duplicate stimulus payment of $9,700, you can keep and use these funds without concern for repayment or tax penalties, according to the Treasury Department. This extraordinary situation not only serves as a stark reminder of the strengths and vulnerabilities of our government financial systems, but also opens up further discussion on how technological, administrative, and legal challenges can influence public policy and individual financial security.